Welcome back. I know it's been at least a month since I made a video, so I'm going to do an update of what I'm working on today. First, I'll show you what I did yesterday. Spent a couple hours outside working on the creamsicle. For the most part, I got the frame all the way back to the spring hanger stripped, all the way up to where the bumper mounts. I stripped radiator core support in and got it primered on that side and the front edge where the rust was. I discovered there's a rust area right here and it's bulged out, so I'm going to have to cut it clear back here, down across the bottom and up across the top. Cut that out and make a patch. What I'm working on right now is where these vents are. If you saw my video with the grill, I made a U-shaped notch here on both sides because there's vents on both sides. What I'm doing is I'm going to use these for air intakes, and I'm waiting to get my Cadillac air breather that has the vent on each side. And the part that I'm fabricating is this here, and it's going to be mounted. This actually get welded to the core support like so. I'm going to have to do some metal finishing on it so it doesn't look so blocky, and especially here on the bottom end when I get that cut and welded. This will tie in to it'll sit on top of the grill. So I'm doing one for each side, and then on the back side here I'm going to do a 4-inch come out around and tie it into the Cadillac air cleaner. Do one on each side and stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I cleaned all the undercoating that was up here, except for this. I couldn't get in there. Right in here. Cleaned all that off. I'm not worrying about down here because it gets hidden by the fender. Got that all primered. Good. Back inside. Down below on the inner fender well that I made. And my plan today is I'm going to get this section of frame all painted after I get done with that air intake. The fender was bent here from here back about 8 inches to there. It was bent up, so I got that hammered all down except for right here's a little high and right there, but that's okay, I'm not worrying about it. This piece here was up, I got it hammered down. I don't know why they mounted this motor mount so high up in the air. I couldn't get in here. I'm going to have to find something else to get in there with, get that undercoating off. And I still got to grind this weld that they had on here. I have no idea what it was for. And I'd like to get all these holes welded shut there, there, and up front right here. And these ones on the top, get them welded in and ground down smooth. So I might do that before I do the paint work. These leaf springs are new leaf springs and stuff. What I'm thinking of doing, but I might run into a problem because of this motor mount, is notching the frame up and then put my axle up on top of the leaf springs I'm pretty much sold on doing that idea. I'm going to have to drop the axle and clean it anyways and get it all painted nice. But by doing that, it'll drop it another almost 3 inches there, plus sitting on top, so I'm looking at about 5-inch more drop on it. Yeah. Motor mount bolt loose. But then I gotta clean the firewall. I'm gonna take the battery tray off. It's rusted out back here. So I'm gonna patch that and weld this corner, get it all fixed, get it cleaned up and painted good. And then I want to get the firewall, get that cleaned up. I got some holes I gotta weld up. You can see them back in there and stuff. But yeah, feels good to be back on it again. But now for today, my main goal is get these air vents done and get them welded on. Before I weld them on, I'm thinking of cutting this up and across all the way over here. Do the same on both sides and switch sides so it'll make this vent sit more centered here. Let me grab this. So it'll sit over in here instead of over there. And then the tube is going to run down underneath the grill. Come over here. It'll go behind the headlight through that hole. And then it'll come out, and I'm going to have a vent underneath the grill here, about 3/4 inches tall and probably 8 inches wide on both sides. So it'll take fresh air in to the intake manifold. So that's where I'm at. Unfortunately, I noticed my body filler is cracked here for some reason. It cracked here and up here. So I'm gonna have to grind those cracks out and refill them. But I still haven't finished that. But yeah, the other thing is, me and my wife was talking about it. I'm gonna go ahead and sell the dually wheel, axle and wheels. I'm going to sell these wheels and tires, and I want to order some 15-inch wheels and put on them. I found some nice classic 15-inch wheel or hubcaps that are almost like the Cadillac sombreros that I want to put on it and stuff. And that's the reason why I'll raise the axle, is because right here you can see how close the steering link is, or drag link is. So by putting the axle on top of the leaf springs, it'll clear there. Because I thought possibly I could, where are we? I thought maybe I could re-taper this, put a bronze sleeve in it, and taper the bronze sleeve, and flip the drag link over so it's on top, but then it will hit my link there. So that ain't no good. So I'll try to get it to clear around the leaf springs, because this has a, I think it's either a 3 or a 4-inch dropped axle on it. So, and when I drop it, I definitely gotta get this hump out of the way like I did the other side. So, yeah, fun. Like my dad always said, A creates B, B creates C, C creates D, and so on. But that's how it goes with customizing. I'll figure out once I get this fender well out and stuff what's actually going on with the frame there, why they welded angle iron in there. I got a feeling from looking at down here that they blew. Where'd it go? Let's see. Yeah, you can faintly see it right there. They blew a big hole in it for some reason. There's 2 of them, so I'll have to fix that and everything. But yeah, that's where I'm at today. So I'll come back when I got more done. All right, we'll talk to you later. Okay, I'm back. What I'm doing, I got it in the shape I want. I'm going through and tack welding it all the way down on one side, then I'll do the other side, and I'm going to continue doing that until I get it all the relief cuts welded, and then I'll grind them all down, and then I'll make sure, use my nylon mallet and get it curved so it's nice and round where it needs to be. Use the other ones. But I got it shaped to my 90 degrees. Got a little thick on that weld. Oops. Hit the vice grips. Alright. Reach. welding helmet screws on the sides don't stay tight. Drives me crazy. Come down just a little bit. What I'm doing is I'll lay a tack like this one, and then I'll come right at the edge of it and start my tack weld on it, and then form out from that. That way it limits burn through on my weld, and I get full penetration that way. Darn nozzle keeps hitting the vice grip. This is all I do all the way down. And once I got it, all this all welded, I'll come back, grind it inside and out, and then I'll, like I said, I'll use my round mallet to make sure it's nice and round. Slow process, but it's what works and it makes it worth it. Too tight. When I'm doing this way, I don't bother cutting that bead off. I probably should. Too tight. Probably don't need it there, but what the heck. This dang helmet. Oh, shit. I love the helmet. I just hate how loose it is. Yeah, get rid of the vice grips. Oh, dang thing. I did get my plasma cutter fixed. I had to order a new tip or torch. Take the insides out of the new torch, put them in my handle on the old torch. It only cost me $10 on Amazon to do that. Alright, that section's welded. So, now I'll go ahead and grind all that down. And then I'll go back and do the others. I won't bore you with doing that. So, I'll bring you back when I got it all welded and ground down and show you how I shape it. Okay, so here's what I ended up with. I'm going to have to do some hammer work. I wish I had a planishing hammer so I could planish it out nice and smooth. But I don't. So it'll have to be hammer and dolly. But this will go now like that to catch the air. And then from here down to the grill, I'll make a filler piece. And then under the grill, since I've got my inner fender well bolt, right hole right there, I think what I'm going to end up doing is doing like a 45 over and then down under the grill. That way it misses my fender well bolt. But yeah, I mean, not bad for a couple hours work. Could be better. You know, this was the first one. Like I said, I mean, if I had, you can see the welds on the inside, how they penetrated through. I just knocked the high spots off so I could try to knock some of the, or smooth it out somewhat. But yeah, it's got a kind of a Actually, I had it mounted upside down. It goes that way. I don't think it's really going to matter. Yeah, it ain't going to matter. I thought it was longer on this side. When you look at it, yeah, it is a little bit. Okay, so that's it for today. I don't know what I'm going to work on next, so I'll leave it here for today and see what happens tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Take care. Bye.